Today I'm going to talk about a theory I use when trying to replicate a specific band. Usually with this kind of thing, I would go into some kind of spiel about you shouldn't try to be like another band, you've got to be original, you've got a duty to be original. I'm just going to not today. There are occasions, especially when doing what I do, which is writing really short form comedy music a lot, where you do need to sound exactly like another band. Or sometimes in movies and games, like, they might want one or two songs which really do sound like a specific band. So there are occasions where you've got to do this. But I am just assuming that a lot of the people watching these videos are kind of teenagers that really want to be like whatever bands are popular. I don't know what bands are popular right now. I'm sorry. In general, be original, but if this is what's going to inspire you, then that's fine. Do whatever you like about music, that's fine. And this is a theory I came up with years ago that helps me do that when I need to. I came up with this idea years ago, and I haven't heard anyone else describe anything similar since, so I'm going to assume this is an entirely unique idea that I've come up with. I guess we could call it the Liam Taylor ripping off music technique, which is different to the other ripping off music technique we spoke about weeks back. I need to do some different videos, don't I? Anyway, like most teenagers that play guitar, I went through a phase of really wanting to sound like Guns N' Roses. And I really struggled with that, obviously, perhaps, because I don't have their life experiences or indeed their skill. So it was never going to happen until I had this idea. Rather than listening to crap loads of the band you really want to sound like, you've got to listen to the bands that influenced that band, right? Because that's where their music comes from. It's not from them being the people they are, it's from their experiences and the music they enjoy. And luckily it's really easy to find out what music bands are inspired by, because it's a standard press interview question, or you could just look at them on stage and notice what shirts they're wearing. It's really easy. Now let's say that you don't like whatever bands your favourite band are influenced by. You're just gonna have a bad time. I'm afraid you're gonna struggle with this. But I guess finding value in something you wouldn't think you'd enjoy is a good skill in music, especially if you want to go into music business. You've got to be able to be positive about things you wouldn't normally like. You've got to be objective about things. And I guess it kind of depends how much you want to be a clone of your favourite band. You may just have to get over it. Sorry. So here's a bit more detail if you think you might want to try this. One of the reasons I think Guns N' Roses were quite as successful as they were is that their music was actually, whilst broadly being rock, it was actually a huge melting pot of different styles. Duff McKagan was really into punk, Axl Rose was really into Queen and Elton John, and Slash was really into Jimi Hendrix and Jeff Beck. And actually, once you start looking at it, I think a lot of popular bands from recent history were similar. Like, they were influenced by a broad selection of bands, which meant that innately their music was able to appeal to a wide variety of people, which obviously, more fans, more popular, more money, more success. And they wouldn't even have to try to do that, because it would just be innate, because they did just enjoy and take influence from a variety of different styles. So I think there's two things you can take away from that. Firstly, different band members are into different styles, right? So maybe you need to listen to those specific instruments within those specific styles. So in our Guns N' Roses example, you could listen to what the vocals are doing in Elton John or Queen tracks, and how is that different to typical rock vocals. Similarly, listen to bass guitar in punk music. Is it similar? Is it different to bass guitar in rock music? And then apply those ideas to the songs you're writing. If you're a kind of one-man band operation like I am, it may just be as simple as listening to a whole load of punk music before recording bass, and then a whole load of Hendrix before recording solos. The second big takeaway, I think, is that you've got to work out who the real songwriters are within your favourite band, because that's the person or people who are obviously going to influence the music way more than other members of the band who, you might not want to hear this, but could just be turning up, playing the tunes and going home because it's their job. For Guns N' Roses, it was Izzy Stradlin who did a lot of their songwriting, which is why they kind of ran out of material just before the Use Your Illusion tour when he quit. Izzy himself was into classic rock like Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin, but also stuff like The Clash and Chuck Berry. So listen to the main songwriter's influences when you're writing the song itself. So chord patterns, structure, and lyrics, and then fill in the gaps like the riffs and bass lines and drum patterns and such afterwards. So there it is, the Liam Taylor rip-off technique, or whatever we called it. Maybe I'll start doing videos on something that isn't ripping off other people's music. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you to subscribe because I know you're already doing that. I will ask you to hit the like button because that really helps me out, and please share this video with anyone you think would find it interesting. Leave any comments below in the comments section, and I will see you next week. Toodaloo.